Welcome to a new tutorial in Catia. This is tutorial number 10 and I will cover the conic profiles. In the previous tutorial we talked about the if you go to a sketch, let's go first a sketch. The previous tutorial we talked about the profile circle profiles, and previously we talked about the rectangle profiles. Now we're going to talk about the conic profiles, and it has four types: ellipse, parabola, and hyperbola, and conic. For a beginner, the easiest one to use is the ellipse, and the rest need some kind of math derivation or some background to get the accurate parabola shape. So let's first start with the ellipse, and the ellipse has two dimensions, the width and height. So first let's choose the width, then the height, and we can move it to origin, and you can add some dimension to the height. So we have the width, you can make it 200, and the height you can make it 40 millimeter. And we can draw a line in the middle of the, just bring this here in case you don't see the line, and make it a construction. So now let's move to the second option in the conic profiles, the hyperbola. Also, you can reach to the iconic profiles on the right menu here. You can see the iconic profiles here. So let's choose parabola. We don't have any specific equation, so we just try to draw it according to center points here, and the second point, then we will have our parabola. Let's make sure that it's not construction. We have our parabola here. So let's again make a new parabola. Let's start from this here on the origin, and here we have our parabola. You can also specify some dimension for it. And here you have with the focus and conic. Let's try the conic. Make the angle of conic, and here you have your conic. So let's try it again. Choose conic, choose center point here, here, You just need to be specific. And here you have your Conic. Tutorial 11 in Catia for beginners. In this tutorial we're going to talk about the spline, the first tool for advanced sketching, and it is quite require some attention while using the spline tool. So let's start a sketch. Choose any plane and to go to the spline, go insert profile and spline, and you have two types of spline and connect, or you can reach it here from this menu, spline. So let's choose a spline and pick 3 points. So now it's kind of tricky to, you just press escape. It's kind of tricky to get your accurate shape of the spline. So there are two ways to get your required shape of the spline. You might be a designer and you are drawing your sketches and you have a scan picture for your drawing and you are following that drawing or by the spline, or you are an engineer and have your dimensions and equations to reach the required spline. So now here we have a spline, and as you see contains many points as you are choosing them, and each point can be moved. Freely. Even you can assign some dimensions between the points, and first last point, for example, we can add 400. Also the spline, you can choose a point and right click, choose close spline, so you are closing your spline. And you can also make a dimension between this spline and just let's delete this one. We can make a distance between two splines. Let's add 140. Here you can draw some line to be intersecting with the spline. Now let's try to use the second type of spline, the connect. To use the connect, just first make two lines, first line and second line, and let's choose the connect. Now we're going to create a spline connecting these two lines. This is tutorial number 12, and we're going to cover the last 2 points in the profile menu. I started a new sketch here, and we already, as we know, talked about the profiles here, profile and rectangle, circle, connect, the previous tutorial. And now we're going to cover the last 2 points, the axis and point. So let's start making a circle. And we can now choose the axis. The axis, as we know, to make a center line, for example, for this circle. As we remember in the engineering drawing, we make a center axis, or if we have a cylinder, we can make or if we have right view of a cylinder, we can make an axis in the middle of it, and also the axis can be used as a reference in drawing, or can be used as a mirror for mirroring, that we're going to see in the next tutorial when we are talking about mirror. And the point simply is to make a point. For example, it can be for helping purposes. For example, we create a point here, we can make another point, and we can assign some dimension for it. For example, we can make this distance to be 50, and be sure that this one can be 60. And we can use that point to make a line passing through these 2 points, and here we have a different type of points. We have the intersection point, which draw a point on the intersections. For example, let's draw another circle here, and let's choose the intersection point. If you notice here, you can choose this point, and you can see when we're choosing these two profiles, we created an intersection points. As well as here and here.